won't be forgotten. Let's talk about Chappell Roan, who apparently has a hater, and that hater's name is Plain Jane. So, Plain Jane went and posted something on the Twitter that got people all hot and bothered, and they ran her down to the floor. Now, we talked a little bit about it on the show, but now that it's a whole story or whatever, I said we'll just bring it up in case a lot of you aren't familiar. So shout out to Pride.com for this story because they put it all together. So I said we'll just use them as a reference and then we'll just bring it all up. So, there's a lot of people, since what Plain Jane tweeted, and we'll get to her tweet in a second because she removed it, and I'm glad that I tell y'all, you put stuff out there, it will always exist. You can't once you delete stuff, somebody's going to screenshot it and post it out there. So, people are coming to Chappell Roan's defense after her drag authenticity was called into question, and they've got the receipts to back everything up. Now, last week, Plain Jane was dragged to hell and back after tweeting that my kink is Karma Singer's love for drag feels performative as fuck. So she put this tweet. She said, well, I get tomatoes thrown at me if I say Chappell Roan's love for drag feels performative as fuck. No shade, queen, secure the bag. Well, honey, we all know that when you say no shade, you're throwing shade. I mean, I always try to say, whenever I say no shade, it's because I'm trying to soften the blow. That's usually when we say no shade, but we mean shade. So someone went and posted, Chappell Roan is a drag queen herself, but because she's not a gay man, her love for drag is performative. This is why Plain Jane didn't win Drag Race. I mean, quite as was good. I mean, child, we knew she was a winning Drag Race. I'm glad she got as far as she did, because, ratings and all. And one of the things I will say this before I get to the rest of the comments that people made, I am looking forward to whenever they show the episode of Bring Back My Girls with T.S. Madison, because I think they're going to film it around the time that they do DragCon. And I know because we didn't get a reunion for season 16, but I am excited to see when that when that episode comes around, the amount of questions people going to have in regards of Plain Jane and the shit that she was saying when she was on the show being shady. And thinking that trying to be that season's Mistress Isabel Brooks was going to get everybody all excited to see, for that season and everything, because everybody was being all dramatic. So she wound up saying, I'm all for artists platforming and celebrating drag, just a skeptic being skeptical. So someone else tweeted, Chappell Roan's love for drag is not performative. She is literally a drag queen, and the fact that you can't acknowledge her as one isn't evidence of anything besides the fact that you hate and reject queer women. Well, I hate when people say that because you don't necessarily, I'll say this to kind of Plain's defense, even though there was some shade thrown up in that tweet, sis. Let's not make, or as she would say on the show, sister. I did say sis, but it was like sister, as you would say on the show, like we said earlier. There was some shade thrown up in there, but I feel like it's a genuine, well, not really a genuine question, but it's just like, I hate when people throw stuff on there. It's like, okay, if I'm asking something, even though it's a bit rooted in shade, don't go around and talk about that someone hates and rejects queer women, because you don't know Plain's heart in that way. You've never heard her openly say, oh, I hate women. So I hate when people throw the word hate around, because hate is a strong word. So people, when y'all tweet stuff just to make a point about somebody, you got to really choose your words and the way y'all deliver shit carefully. But someone also posted, it's so odd to me that a drag queen will reject a queer woman from this space too. Like, PJ literally dresses as a woman. Why would you not uplift someone who does the same in the community? And I think maybe it's because a lot of people just now heard of Chappell Roan a couple of months ago. Like, this girl just exploded out of nowhere, even though Chappell Roan been making music since 2016, 2017. Like, she's been on the scene for that long. And so it's about almost 10 years that she's been kind of, simmering in the music spaces. And now she's exploded because she did Coachella and, she's made appearances in other places. And now people are starting to pay attention to her. So all that hard work is finally paid off. But she does, a lot of women, and, we know the history of drag. Maybe it's because a lot of times I will agree that a lot of times the drag industry has been gate-kept by cisgendered gay men. So people are not used to seeing trans women do drag, which I come up from the time before Drag Race, where I've supported a lot of drag artists and I've gone to a lot of clubs. I would see trans women doing drag. I never really saw, and I saw drag kings too. I was familiar with excuse me, a lot of drag queens, a lot of drag kings and stuff that were performing Land Insider. I was familiar with Land Insider long before he did Dragula. He did Dragula. Even though it's like you do drag king, I do use male pronouns. I'm not sure if that's how they identify. But whenever it comes to, I always tend to use the opposite, the gender pronoun of the person they're doing the drag. So someone also posted nearing the end of Pride Month, and I did not realize how many of these days would be about Chappell Roan. And they said, good morning. Let's see what today brings. Pride Month discourse. Day one, kink and pride. Day two, straight boyfriends of bi women. And day three, I guess that would be a joke to mention Chaperone or something. So another person tweeted, Chaperone openly supporting Palestine, pushing drag back into pop culture after 2023 anti-drag campaigns. Well, that should also go to the drag queens that have been out here on the front lines, with their political activism and all this stuff, especially what's been going on with Drag Race and the ACLU. So it says that after 2023 anti-drag campaigns, unproblematic queer woman turns looks, contributing to pop music being fun again. Some gays, they say, I don't know, there was just something about her that doesn't seem authentic. Another person tweeted, and what if I said Chaperone drag feels more authentic to me than that Drag Race Girls does? So the thing is, Roan has been having drag queens open her shows long before her career exploded this year. It's definitely not new, and painting longtime support for local artists as performers just doesn't hold up. So someone also posted Chappell Roan making an appearance at a drag show, saying it's so nice to see a pop star supporting local queer communities, which is more than we can say for some of y'all faves out here who don't do the same. So at least Chaperone is out here showing love for the queer community. She is a lesbian, so she's a part of the community. And there are women who do drag. I know it's an unpopular thing, and a lot of people aren't familiar with this. But to me, we need to adapt the whole idea of what RuPaul said. We're all born naked, and the rest is drag. So we all do drag in some, at some point or another. And if a woman gets up there and exaggerates her makeup and puts on this big, crazy magenta wig, from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and gets out there and performs and pays homage to Divine and so many other drag queens that have come before her, and even gets on Jimmy Fallon's show and dresses in drag, and even name drops Sasha Colby. I don't think she's faking it. She's not putting on, an act. Like JoJo Siwa, who we talked about yesterday, who was on Drag Race but don't know shit about the show and got busted in the video. Speaking of which, when I get around to it, because I was uploading a lot of clips of the show that I was doing for the past two shows or whatever. Once I'm done uploading all those, I gotta edit that one and put that up as well. So and so when her referencing Sasha Cole and all this stuff, I feel like she is the real deal. So a lot of people out here, making these comments, like Plain Jane with the whole Chappell Roan situation. I just think it's a bunch of BS. There goes the Divine picture, in case y'all didn't see it. So another person put, this is crazy to me because Chaperone's first music video from 2020 literally featured Meatball. And I met Meatball. I love Meatball. When I went to the live taping of her podcast with Big Dipper, who I flirted with a little bit, and he flirted back. And so she, Meatball is an LA drag legend that you wouldn't know about if your drag knowledge was from Drag Race, because Meatball was on Dragula. And they said, plus her homage to Divine and other famous drag queens from the 20th century in her work. Another person put, yeah, no shit, drag culture inspired her. I thought she was season 5's Jinx Monsoon because they have this picture. And I said, let me pull this up. Oh, Chappell Roan looking like Jinx Monsoon. They do favor each other in that picture. Another one, they said the way Chappell Roan gave these iconic looks in a span of 2 weeks. And I will say, yeah, she definitely served with this picture. I don't know if y'all see it. She was dressed as the Statue of Liberty. Then there was another picture where it's like, okay, so in the red here, she's Statue of Liberty here, she's Divine here. She looks like Glenna the Good Witch in this picture. And I don't know who she was trying to emulate in this one, but I live for the look. Chappell Roan definitely is turning looks. I'm sure those looks are probably expensive too, but she's probably going to a lot of. I wonder if she's going to a lot of drag artists, a lot of the drag designers who are designing. I'm wondering if she's going to them to design her looks for her shows, like a lot of the drag queens do. So they said that Plain has appeared to see the error of her ways, and she did delete the tweet and all this other stuff, but Pride said, let this be a reminder that you really don't have to say every little thought that pokes its way into your brain on the internet, especially when you don't have a clue what you're talking about. So, like I said, is that to me, I feel like what she was doing with that whole situation to wrap this up, I truly believe that Plain was looking for a reason to be messy. Went on social media instead of just, as I like to say, Google is your friend. Like, if you wanted to know how authentic her drag is, or how she is to the drag community and how she's influenced by drag queens, you could have just went on the Google Schmoogle and you could have looked it up and it would have answered your question. But we know what it is. Plain, you wanted to go on social media and be messy. Just admit that that's what it was. And it backfired. The girls came for you and they was ready with their pitchforks via them fingers, you know, doing all that on the computer. That's what they did. They came for you, girl. The one thing I've always said about Plain is that Plain always tries to read, but she's not good at it. You are not a good reader. Reading is fundamental, but not for you. When it comes to you and you trying to come for the girls, and the shit backfired. So yeah, to me, I feel like Chappell Roan is the real deal. Now this, and I can smell authenticity a mile away, and I've always felt like Chappell Roan is it. That's why I'm obsessed. Now if you want to talk about somebody who ain't authentic, maybe you need to put a tweet out about Camila Cabello. Then we'd agree with that. But and that hot ass mess new album she got out, which I heard flopped. Yeah, I heard that album flop big time. But anyway, so let me, I am curious to hear what y'all got to say about this. Like I said, I'm obsessed with Chappell Roan. I am a Chappell Roan fan, not a stan, because I don't stand none of these celebrities. But I am living for the music. I am living for the looks. She is exciting. Making music exciting again. And I feel like that's what it is that needs to happen with music. Is that y'all got to make the music exciting. Y'all got to give me visuals. You got to give me costumes. You got to give me, I like the extravaganza of it all because I'm dramatic. Sometimes, not all the time, but I like the drama of it all. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story down below.